Hello, everyone. I'm Annie Gibbins, and you're listening to Memoirs of Successful Women, the podcast where you get to hear candid conversations with fascinating women from around the globe who share aspects of their business and life journey, how they measure their success, and what they have learnt along the way. Hello and welcome to Memoirs of Successful Women. Today I have the delight of introducing you to Linda Fisk. She is the CEO and founder of LeadHERship Global, where she works to enhance the leadership blueprint of unstoppable women around the world. She's super interested in the psychology of influence, persuasion, negotiation, and she uses her PhD and MA in clinical psychology to have written extensively on subjects like social comparison, depression, anxiety, subjective well-being, and personality theory. And the most cool thing that you're going to love today, listeners, is that she's able to relate her scientific research into really easy to understand concepts. So welcome to the program, Linda.
Thank you so much, Annie. It's such a pleasure and privilege to be here with you. And I tell you, I'm such a big fan of what you're doing, the impact you're making in the world, the conversations you're starting, and a lot of the guests that you've profiled. I feel honored to be among them. So thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. I'm so excited to have you on board because I haven't had anyone of your caliber really focusing on leadership and the blueprint of leadership and why we as women really need to claim that word and see ourselves as leaders. You know, many of us become leaders over our career, or we suddenly get to a stage in life where we go, oh my gosh, I'm leading this group or this family or this sort of section of community or whatever. But how do you actually describe, well, what is the blueprint of a successful female leader? How about we just dive straight in today?
I love that. Thank you. Well, I will tell you, I'll just make this really quick. There are 1,000 leadership theories, and there's a lot of studies around leadership, and all of those are super interesting, and they're all valid in some way. But I will simplify it down to one concept. I think leadership starts from the inside out. Leadership is not a title. It is not a rank in an organization. It is not a position that you hold in your community or your church or your workplace. It is about being clear about your purpose here on earth, exactly what your purpose is, being clear about your mission and your vision, and stepping into that power boldly and with confidence. And that only happens if you believe that you are a leader. You could have just graduated college. You could still be in high school, but if you believe you have a clear purpose for being here and you understand and have really clarified what your mission and your vision is, and you step into that power with enthusiasm, confidence, with a sense of boldness, then you are absolutely a leader of people. I find that the best leaders that I have ever had the privilege and honor of working with were able to do three things. One, they were able to inspire people to see a greater possibility than perhaps that team was able to on their own. They were able to paint a vision, a mission, a possibility, an opportunity that was so engaging, so compelling, so inspiring that people rallied around that vision. They wanted to see it come to fruition. That is the great leader, someone who can inspire others and motivate them and lift them up. The other characteristic I've seen of great leaders is that they're humble. These are lifetime learners. These are men and women who are curious about life, who don't see setbacks or failures or missteps as condemnation of themselves or their team or any one person or group of people, but rather it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to experience that misstep, that failure, that setback fully, and say, what can we learn from this? How can we grow from this? What can we take away from this and apply it to the next step we'll take in our journey together? What can we do to reshape and perhaps reforecast the journey that we're on together as a team. And I think that that takes a level of humility, and I think it takes a level of optimism. And that's the third quality, I think, of a great leader, is that they believe in themselves. They have a sense of confidence about their God-given opportunity to make an impact in the world. I think that there's this sense that we were all placed on this planet to do something meaningful, whether that's raising a child, running a household, or running a multinational, multi-million-dollar business. We were all here to do something with our lives, with purpose and intention. And those leaders that feel positively about that purpose, they feel confident about this purpose, that to me is a sign of a true and authentic leader.
Oh, beautifully, beautifully said. And so much of that is around, that moment in time where you suddenly realize, I can just back myself. I can, look at this in a positive way. I can look at it in an optimistic way. And in that sense, that not that the road ahead, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, is going to be easy, but that you embrace the journey, and that's what a lot of my coaching is around that actually goes and says, oh, I assume you're going to have bumps in the road. I assume there's going to be trial and error. I assume you could even have some epic fails and we'll have a laugh about them, right? And then suddenly it just takes people to that whole next level, because they go, oh, I don't have to pull myself back and I don't have to limit myself. I then actually go, oh, I could actually just embrace this opportunity, because we've all got those inner desires and passions, right? And I know you do a lot of work with women, actually just taking time to focus. What is your vision for yourself, your career, for your life? What is
That's
your
right.
purpose? How do we get women, particularly because that's our passion, to actually do that earlier? There's so many of us, like myself, I'll happily say, and possibly yourself, that goes, oh my gosh, I should have stopped 20 years ago and made this a huge priority to actually go, yeah, who am I? What is my vision? What is my purpose? Because when we unpack that and we spend that time, the rest of our life can look really different. Why do you think with the women that you meet, they don't do that early enough?
Yeah. And I think that some of that is culture, some of that is mindset, some of that is the gender differences between men and women. But I will share one of my key beliefs with you, Annie, and that is that I believe to fulfill big aspirations, we need to develop critical relationships. We need to invest in others. We need to build critical and authentic communities around us. And I think that if you grew up in a family where this idea of investing in others, giving back, creating authentic, deep, rich, meaningful relationships was something that was valued, then that becomes much more natural for you. But I believe that success is a team sport, and it's best achieved through thoughtful engagement, through collaboration with the people around us. And I will say that as women, I think we are natural connectors. We are natural collaborators. And so being able to recognize that, celebrate that, see that as a gift and a strength, then that gives us an opportunity to really explore that as we grow and as we develop as people. And I think that that really is one of the keys to bringing your dreams to life, to be able to connect with others who are going to share in your story. I believe that people want to share their lives, whether it's a moment of joy or a moment of sadness or perhaps a point of transition. People want to tell a story and they want you to share in their story. So that connection happens when we listen, when we share ourselves, when we take action. And I think listening can actually be an act of validation where someone is with you in that moment. And if you grow up in a family where people stopped and they listened to you, even as a child, and they validated your feelings and they connected with you in really authentic ways, then you were given an incredible blessing, but also a model of what it is to form connections with people, to be able to really be able to stop, actively listen, and be with them on the journey that they're on. And to really recognize that just simply the act of listening is a very generous and a very selfless way of showing up for people. It's a way of creating connection with someone that's very real and very authentic.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And so many people actually go through life and go, I don't think anyone really understands me. I don't think anyone really knows me or connects with me, because that's it. Life gets so busy, or people don't put their devices down. They don't look at you in the eye. They don't have these meaningful conversations. And so there's two aspects I pick up there. One, you moms listening in, this is why it's so valuable. You have this opportunity to really input these amazing, this love and care and kindness and interest in your young children, that when they speak, even if it's not your thing, listen to them, empower them, celebrate their crazy little quirky ways, because we all have them, and that actually makes us really fun, unique human beings. And then also, if we don't have that, or we haven't had that ourselves, get yourself a tribe. I know you and I both, Linda, are building global tribes of women for that very reason, that it's kind of like, if you don't have that camp near you, ladies, join one that is global. Join one, you're a click away, really, right? Not in this modern world, from actually finding a tribe that it will love you, will celebrate your wins, because, and that's what I love about, your business, that it's actually saying, hey, women globally, you actually have a family here, you have this.
That's right.
Who will back you. And I think that need for a sense of community and a sense of belonging is missing for a lot of women globally.
Oh, I completely agree, Annie. And I will tell you that, creating your power tribe, as you said, it does demand a bit of bravery. But interestingly, it's the kind that requires you to take off your armor and to let your vulnerability show. It's bravery based in authenticity and honesty and transparency. And I will say that, creating your own power tribe is one of the most important aspects of leadership as well, because, C-suite women are constantly bombarded with advice about the importance of growing their network. Build your personal board of directors, use every opportunity to network. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And while that's all very inspiring, it's not always intuitive, and it can be quite intimidating. So I think as you grow into your leadership role, and as you begin to recognize that you want to have a tribe of people around you that celebrate you, that lift you up, that connect you, that open up doors for you, that provide a safety net for you, I think it's so important to be able to recognize what you need in your power tribe. Again, I think high-performing executives tend to value the perspectives of other leaders. Having a tribe of people around you that offer their wisdom and their experience and their expertise that comes from practical experiences that they've had in similar situations can be absolutely priceless. But most important, I think it's absolutely fundamental that you find a power tribe that feels safe for you, where you have a safe environment, where you can share your concerns, where you can show vulnerability, where you can voice uncertainty without having to worry about confidentiality, privacy, or even this idea that you're going to lose the confidence of the people around you. I think being in a community of other leaders allows you to have an outlet of continuously learning and improving in a confidential setting. So while we've all heard the adage, it's not who you know, it's what you know, and you always need to be networking, I think it's really important to find a safe, supportive power tribe that allows you to create impactful, meaningful relationships that can really enrich both your professional and your personal life. And I think there, as you said, there are plenty out there, but of course, I am partial to LeadHERship Global.
Of course.
But but I would say that any kind of leadership community definitely has significant and proven benefits. And now, as you said, virtual networking allows for a much more customized approach to networking. And it's so easy, as you said, a click of a button. So
Yeah.
you're able to reach a global network with flexible scheduling, with the ability to access recordings at a much more affordable rate. You don't have the experience of having to jump on a plane and travel around the world to actually meet your tribe. You have the opportunity now for virtual networking, and that expands your leadership. It can also enhance your influence globally.
Oh, 100%. I can't believe, definitely in my world, grown exponentially due to COVID, the changes that when everyone's online, I'm having actually so many more conversations, more deeper relationships getting built online because one, we're focused, right? Times even, all these women, 100 plus women that I've interviewed globally now, I actually now, have opportunities to give them a platform, but then also, in that, then connections happen, friendships happen, relationships happen. People have got areas of different expertise. And when you're in that, in those safe communities, as you said, it's got to feel safe, then incredible opportunities happen for people. And I see that day in, day out, and I know you must as well, and I think the difference here is, and I'm a C-suite exec as well, being CEO of a charity here in Australia. And so a lot of that is on what that networking is great, but it's also what can I get, right? Whereas the difference in these global communities, you will be blessed abundantly, but you can also give, right? And that's the difference, that when you come in and just go, I want to give you this opportunity, or if there's something that you need, how can I help you? Having those sorts of attitudes with women and ability, then you would be blessed tenfold anyway. It's amazing difference. And I feel the difference now in the corporate world compared to in a global community of, there is so much untapped love and generosity and support. And I think that support is so important. It's also really interesting that some people don't join these global tribes like you've got because they go, oh, I'm going to be intimidated. All those women are going to be amazing power players. They're going to be like the top gurus in their space. Who am I? And and I need to encourage people, and I'd love you to as well, going, oh my gosh, like even the women that I've met who you go, oh my gosh, they're like at the top of the tree, if you like. Everyone has insecurities, everyone has imposter syndrome, everyone's just on their own journey, and we're really working hard, I think. And I'd love to hear your view on that, on how do we break down that view of women, hey, don't compete with each other, let's collaborate, let's celebrate, and everyone has worth here.
Yeah. I mean, what a great point, Annie. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And I agree with you. I don't think there's ever been a better time to invest in your success because, as you said, many executives can become insulated and myopic because they believe they're just too busy to network, or they don't have time to join a community. They can't work on expanding their network because their workplace is too overwhelming. I gotta say, if that sounds familiar to you, then I would invite you to be creative. Look at your calendar and see where you might be able to find time to connect. Maybe it's before the workday starts. Maybe it's during lunch or during a meal or during a coffee break or an evening. I gotta tell you, these leadership communities that are already built make it so easy to connect and to reach out and to ensure that you're optimizing your opportunity to build these relationships. And these women that join these organizations, yes, they may be, as you said, Annie, top of the tree. These are incredible women that may run, nonprofits, philanthropies. They may be investors. They may run an organization. They could be business owners. They could be CEOs or in the C-suite in some way. But how wonderful is it that they are there to connect with you, to learn from you, to grow with you, to share their knowledge and expertise. You have the opportunity to create mentoring relationships, advisory relationships with women who have been there and done that. And that is a priceless opportunity. These women are involved in leadership organizations because they want to actively give back. They want to influence, impact, and inspire the next generation of leaders.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, it is time to get comfortable being visible,
Yeah.
because networking involves being seen and connecting, and you will be absolutely awestruck at the generosity of women, the connections that they'll provide, the networks that they'll open, the doors that they'll open, the tools and resources that they'll share. It's absolutely amazing. And I would also say that when you're thinking about who should be in your power tribe, I would worry less about the intimidation of other successful, amazing women around the globe and see it as an opportunity to learn and to grow and to advance your own definition of success.
Yes.
So, no matter how you define success, being a part of a power tribe with other phenomenal women gives you an opportunity to learn and to grow. And I would say that there are a few different kinds of people that should be a part of your power tribe. And number one, I think, is a co-striver. This is someone that's trying to achieve something very similar to you. It
Yeah.
could be that you've had an idea in your head about a business that you want to launch, but you've been a little shy to do that. Well, you can meet someone in a leadership organization that's on the exact same journey, on the exact same trajectory you are. And this can be someone that you actually work with. They relate to your goal. They share your optimism. They are there to support and encourage you as you both work towards that shared objective.
Yeah.
That could be a phenomenal find in a leadership organization. Or I'm often considered to be a super connector. And I got to tell you that the super connectors that I know are invaluable. They can introduce you to the right people. Having a super connector in your network is
Yes.
absolutely crucial for future success.
It totally is. I get people, because I'm one of those super connectors as well. And how many times do we get asked, can you please introduce me to so-and-so? Because that's it. Because we are that way naturally, or we have also developed those skills. It is a gift to other people, and we're usually happy to do that. And I think you struck some really interesting chords there with people that, that view of being in tribes where people are the same. I'll even get people commenting here, Annie, why are you interviewing people who, why would you interview Linda when she's got a global tribe and you've got a global tribe, and why you're in the same space? And I go, because one, I celebrate what she's doing, awesome, and two, there's enough. It's not as if there's a finite amount of people. People will relate to different qualities, different opportunities for them. Where is the value for them? There's no need to compete in that way. If you can collaborate and go, oh my gosh, if my style doesn't work, you should join Linda, and Linda's got a tribe, and we also then meet up and then go, well, there's opportunities now that we'll know other people with different podcasts or speaking summits and bits and pieces. It just skyrockets because you are actually in the same space, and also having someone who relates to you. Often when you're in, when you're a CEO like I am, and an entrepreneur, it's actually a very lonely place, right? Because other people,
Yes.
particularly like in my space, when you grew up, I always knew, the girls in my mum's group, all this or that, were beautiful people, but they might not have related to your hopes and your dreams and your vision and your passion and your drive and the things you want to do. They're all like, oh my gosh, here's another idea, or she's always busy or whatever. And so it allows you to just suddenly find a tribe and go, it's such a revelation, right? When people go, oh my gosh, these are people like me. They believe that my dreams are possible. They believe that, I should keep going. I should persevere. It's incredibly dynamic when you sense that, so I really encourage those of you who go, I don't connect with people in my space. I actually say the opposite. Connect with everyone in your space, and also the complementary space, like who also will complement your business. You need to know those people, because that just expands your value and opportunity for other people, right?
That's absolutely right. And I will also say, it's not an either or situation, I think, between joining a community. I'm a part of several communities, and they each serve different needs, right? So it could be that you've joined a community that helps you learn and grow spiritually. Maybe it's connected to your church. There could be a community that you've joined that's unique to your particular industry, and it's very vertically based. So it's a community of architects or designers or IT specialists, and all of that I think is really important. But I think there's also something to be said for creating a wide and diverse network. And in fact, there was a new study that was just put out by the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University here in the United States. And it found that there are actually gender differences in the way that men and women create their own power tribes. And men tend to be a part of many wide and diverse networks. They deploy a kind of what's called centrality strategy. So they try to join as many diverse networks as possible. And that creates a safety net. That creates an acceleration of opportunities for them. They learn about exclusive, sort of advantageous opportunities before everyone else. They're able to sidestep any kind of step back in their career because they already have formed a really dynamic and very diverse network. And identifying and connecting with people who are connected to multiple networks is a key strategy for the most successful men. They have a centrality strategy that allows them to be a part of many wide and diverse networks. And interestingly, women tend to face a much greater challenge in networking and finding professional advancement opportunities. They have, much more than men. They have often facing cultural or political hurdles, and they face obstacles that men typically do not. So they need to maintain both wide networks, but also importantly, an informative inner circle. And that's really necessary to land the best positions, to secure the most advantageous opportunities. So women in executive leadership benefit from having an inner circle of close female contacts that can share private, confidential information, as well as diverse, wide networks. So I don't think of it as an either or situation, but really a complementary situation. I mean, the fact, Annie, that you reached out to me to be a part of this network, of course, I'm honored. I'm incredibly, I recognize the privilege that you've extended to me, but at the same time, I would love to have you teach and coach and train the women of LeadHERship Global. I'm not a coach. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a trainer. That's not my gift. So women like you, I highlight and spotlight and lift up and celebrate because sharing your expertise makes everyone stronger.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, we'll definitely take you up on that, Linda. But you can see how this happens, ladies listening in. Exactly that. You just meet people and go, wow, I want to have the diverse breadth. I've got women friends now and relationships and men all around the globe, and you want to have that breadth and confidence to reach out to people and go, wow, you're really interesting. I don't even understand everything you do, but you're pretty amazing, and I want to learn from you, or I want to hear more about your journey, because there's going to always be gold nuggets in different people's journeys. And then that necessity, and I'd say it's like oxygen, ladies. You've got to have that little inner sanctum tribe, and don't go crazy. It's not more than, that's right. I think you said 5. I think that's actually a perfect number, because you can't maintain that depth with so many people, but those 5 are so key, don't you think? They're like, they are your golden ticket, because they will know you, love you, but they'll also be people, and I'm strong on this, of have people who will actually be really honest with you. They love you so much that they will give you the honest perspective. They'll be your biggest cheerleader, but they'll also be an accountability partner, and they'll also be your truth serum, and they'll just keep you in check, in the right way. Now, sometimes, they could have an opinion and their opinion isn't right. They're seeing it from their perspective. So you're really looking for people at that next level who are not in it for them. They're in it for you, and they know you, and they love you, and they support you. I just think, if that is a goal for these young women now coming through in their 20s, it's finding that group of people who will really support you, who may not be right next to you at the moment. They might not be in your friends group, your uni group. You might need to reach out and develop those relationships, and you'll know when you find them, because you just you have those moments every day, and when something happens, you're like, I've got to tell this person, I've got to get on the thing and tell Linda, because she's going to think this as well, because they're following your journey with you. They're there for you. I think they are so powerful, and I didn't realize that early in my years. I just, you acquire friends, you acquire relationships, and they're all just lovely. Sometimes you can get too broad, in the you want to have a lot of connections, and I agree with what you said there, that men do that very well. They just go, oh, I know this guy, he's an awesome dude, whatever. And so they're there in a level that doesn't have to be high maintenance, but it's regular check-ins, it's regular contacts, where the depth can be smaller. So I also meet women, and I don't know if you find that they go, I don't have time. I think you touched on that before, Linda, that they don't have time to do all the networking because they're too busy. But I think sometimes they're spending too much time with too many people. A lot of relationships don't take that much. They're just regular touch points, right?
That's right.
In the right way.
I agree. And I got to tell you, I so resonate with what you said, Annie, that a close inner circle of women is so vital. But you need to find women that support you, that champion you, that advise you, that encourage you, and that tell you the truth in love, that will, question your decisions when they need to be, that will validate your concerns, that will be able to tell you the truth because they care for you, because they have your own well-being at the top of their priority list. They want to see you achieve your dreams. They want to see you succeed. And to do that, occasionally we all need someone who is going to be a sounding board for us and tell us the truth. And I also think, we've talked about that coast driver and that super connector that I think is so important, that person that can connect you to people and influential groups that you may not typically have access to. That's really important. But you touched on something that I think is equally important, is that is having a champion. This is someone who really is your cheerleader, who believes in you. And we all need a champion in our success circle, in our power tribe. This is the person that's always cheering you on and regularly sings your praises or defends you, even if you're not in the room. Yeah. And I think we all need to find that relationship, right? And I think as women, we often talk about our best friends, but we want to be sure that even in our professional relationships, we have someone in our network who is going to believe in us, who's going to praise us, defend us, and lift us up, even if we're not there, because they've got our back. And I feel like, leadership organizations that are already ready built come with champions and people that are re-energizers and mentors and advisors.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many people in these groups who would just blow your mind in how generous they are and so amazing they are. I constantly just get dazzled by how unique and interesting and fascinating people's journeys have been uniquely. And with that comes all their breadth. And you mentioned before that, you'll be surprised of the C-suite ladies who are in these groups. I know I'm in a lot of groups as well. And it's usually because you get to a stage in your life as well that you're happy to give back. You don't have to, you're not anyone's competition now. You're happy to go, oh my gosh, I've had some crazy learnings, try this, try that, whatever. There is so many women globally who are sitting in these groups who are just happy to give back. They're not even, focusing. They might be, heading for retirement in their last few years. Their priorities have shifted now. They're working, but they've also got grandkiddies and doing different things. It's fascinating that you just go, wow, it's just, you don't even have to pay money for it. You just be alongside people and listen to them. I think you tapped into listening, the value of listening. wow, so there's so many free podcasts like this one, or get on Clubhouse and listen to these people speak, and it would just transform your world, right? Because
Yeah,
and
it really
what you
does.
hear is their focus, their passion. It's that difference in successful people. I think that they actually go, I'm just going to do it anyway, because I want to achieve it. I want to make it happen. It's important to me. It's important to the planet. It's important to my family. Whatever their driver is, a little switch happens, and then they go and say, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it anyway because it's important. And I think when you hold back and you go, I want something, I dream of something, but that's the differential. And so get into these tribes, ladies, because you will then meet people who go, oh my gosh, some of them, might be eccentric, might seem a bit out there, might be a bit crazy, might be a bit hyper driven, but they do incredible things, and they're happy, right? That's the most fascinating thing. In my business, I actually go, I want success, balance, and happiness. And that's an interesting combination, because a lot of people think when you're talking about success and leadership, it's all high power and actually a little bit tough, a little bit alpha. And it can be at times, but you can also then, if you tell yourself to go, well, how do these people also get the balance? How do they actually smile a lot and laugh about themselves and things that they've tried? How do you get that combination? You get that by surrounding yourself with people who've done a lot in their life. They've learned a lot, and they've got that formula right. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I think you said something that's so important, that you said, you may meet some people that seem a little out there, that seem really different. And I got to tell you, that's one of the most brilliant things about this opportunity, is to build a power tribe full of people that maybe are great at what they do, but they don't look like you. They don't have your background. They don't have your education. They don't have your same network. And it helps us counteract our unconscious biases. It helps us open up our minds to other ways of thinking, or the ability to further diversify our network. And there's something about that is just absolutely invigorating. It's absolutely enlightening to be confronted with people who see the world wholly differently than you do. It's absolutely fascinating. And I got to tell you that in my experience, I'm finding this entire new group of extraordinary women that I have now dubbed the new elite. And the new elite is a group of women, and they tend to be younger than I am, that they are emerging in the world today, and they come from every single walk of life, but they share three qualities. Number one, they are awakened to their purpose. They are clear about their purpose in this world. Number two, they serve their mission with integrity. There's no way you could pull them off course. They are so clear about their purpose and their mission, and they're absolutely steadfast in their integrity. And number three, they support individual freedom and individual expression.
Yes.
And they want people to show up authentically. They want people to be absolutely who they are, with no pretense, with no supposition of who they should be. And I got to tell you that this group of what I consider to be the new elite is not necessarily based on the fact that they've graduated from a top school, or they have a career where they're making a certain level of income, or they hold a lot of influence in the world. It really is about the fact that these people are awake, and they are purposeful and intentional in the way that they spend their time, their resources, their relationships. They tend to be smart and driven and funny and caring, and they strive to be their best, and they uplift and encourage those around them. And to me, that is the best definition of this idea of elite, especially the new elite.
Oh, the new elite. I'll have to tell one of my daughters that. My youngest daughter is that classic Gen Z describing you, and she's different. I had two sets of twins 2 years apart, so I've got 28-year-old and 26-year-old twins. I know, right? Jaw dropping. And then my youngest is 20, just turned 22. And so the difference of the millennial to the Gen Z, you know, it's quite stark in our household. And she at times, you know, it's really interesting for us, you know, she's so focused. She just goes, I know who I am. I'm unapologetic, you know. And so sometimes, you know, coming from our generation, you can kind of go, oh, it's a little bit rude. You know, you'll ask her to do something. She goes, no, that's just not going to work for me. And you kind of get this pushback. And whereas I came from a generation of, you know, oh yeah, I'll help. I want to be good. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to. And so it took me a little while to go, she's not rude. She's actually just claiming her time so she can be more of who she wants to be, which is exactly what we're wanting to be. And it's really, I'm meeting now. I've got one gorgeous employee who's actually got very similar traits, and you just kind of go, yeah, they're just saying, I know who I am. I know what I value my time. I might use it to grow my career, to invest in me. I might actually do it so I can volunteer for others. I can create this life of design, which is what we're wanting to do, that works for them. And if they're happier and healthier and more purposeful, more intentional, then they're actually able to then do all these other things as well. So I think it's really fascinating. I encourage those of you who sort of steered away from people who are from a different generation or just asserting themselves in new ways, that it's actually fascinating. We can learn so much from them to actually go, yeah, that's right. I actually now really admire it. Sometimes I get confronted. I go to my daughter and go, you know, could you do this? She's like, and she'll just hit this. You just hit these little walls, but they're not bad walls, because she's valuing herself. And I think a lot of, you know, we can talk for days, Linda, but you know, that sense of valuing self, knowing yourself, and then knowing what that means to be able to grow yourself, and then also grow all the other things that are important to you, which are not selfish, right? Most of them aren't. Most of them are not selfish. They're actually just really great things for humanity. And these people coming through, these new elite, they're so impressive. They're so focused.
So impressive.
So impressive. You know, you just go, wow. Talk about back yourself. I think the real gems happen when you meet them, that you go, yeah, you back yourself because you have assurance. You have assurance and confidence in who you are. And then they'll all, I bet, have a little tribe around them who go, yeah, you go, girl, I'm here for you. Or, you know, what we think. They all want to learn from each other as well as grow. So powerful. So what do people receive when they come to see you at your LeadHERship Global? What does LeadHERship Global give to the women of the planet who are wanting a little bit more today?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. I will say LeadHERship Global is, in my estimation, one of the most powerful communities of extraordinary women on the planet. And I think the amazing thing about this particular community is its generosity. The women there really genuinely are trying to accelerate the success of every single member that is a part of LeadHERship Global. What you find is that women work together, and I have seen partnerships formed. I've seen companies collaborate together. I've seen JOAs created. I've seen philanthropies get built. I've seen nonprofits get funded. Wow. I have seen such phenomenal growth. I've seen partnerships where both entities grew 5 times the prior year trying to go solo, trying to do things by themselves. It's just remarkable what happens when women come together to collaborate and to accelerate their definition of success together in community, in a safe, private, and confidential community of women that can be transparent and honest, as we said, in a safe haven. I feel like there's such transformative power in this idea of partnership. And what we at LeadHERship Global try to do is understand the unique definition of success for every single member, really what they're trying to achieve. And then we give them the resources, the tools, the connections, the diagnostics, the assessments, the industry research, as well as the network to accelerate their success. So we have huge learning events. We have curated one-on-one introductions. We have small group learning events. We have intimate trust forums and leadership boards and rise boot camps, and all of these opportunities for women to connect, to learn, to grow, to advance their definition of success, and to leave a legacy. Ultimately, I think all of us want to feel as though our lives mattered and we want to leave a legacy. And so we help women define what that looks like for them and then work towards that vision. And it is the most gratifying and the most exhausting work I've ever done in my life, right? Because you have thousands of women that are all deserving and that you want to uniquely support and you want to accelerate their success. And it takes all of us working together to be able to see that come to fruition.
Oh, yeah. And who doesn't want to accelerate their success, right? Like, you know, where you can chip away, and then suddenly have an opportunity to just springboard. And, you know, if that's right, 5x, 10x your situation, which happens day in, day out. We see it all the time, but other people don't think it's possible. It's seriously possible. So reach out to Linda. What is your website, Linda? How will they find you?
It is LeadHERshipglobal.com. So it's leadership with an H. So LeadHERshipglobal.com. Annie, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about LeadHERship Global. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to have this really fun, dynamic, and interesting conversation with you. And you talk about taking a stand for powerful women. You have done such a phenomenal job with your podcast, with your work, with your coaching. It's just been remarkable to be in your presence and also to see the incredible impact you're having in the world. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for those kind words. It's been an absolute delight to have you on my program. We are definitely going to be networking and collaborating and seeing what opportunities are available, and also just to girl fan each other and say, keep doing what you're doing, right? You know, and that is so powerful to have people believe and support in whatever you're doing globally. So women out there listening in, you keep doing what you're doing, keep listening in, keep getting tips, connect with Linda, connect more with myself, connect with our global communities. And really, the biggest message today is just back yourself to be yourself, right? It's that awareness to then be able to step up and stand out and just make yourself known and just, listen, look, learn, get to know, like, trust other people, get them to do the same to you. And, you are going to be well on your way to the future life that you desire. And that's what it is. It's a deep desire to be authentically you. So thank you for being on the program today, Linda. And I wish you all the best with your future success.
Thank you, Annie.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Memoirs of Successful Women. You can find me at anniegibbins.com, where you can download my free resources, get connected on social, and check out my online magic transformation program. If you love this show, feel free to subscribe to future episodes, and of course, share it with your friends. I'll see you again soon, and until then, happy podcasting.